Be Friday. It's another beautiful day. We're so excited to be here. This morning we have Monica Fraser on. We're super pumped. She's going to talk to us about building this incredible Google form. She'll do a live tutorial for us. Monica, you should be able to share your screen.
Just declined. Look,
Woohoo!
yay. Okay, so today we are going over. I obviously do a lot of open houses and meet a lot of great people every day. Um, Sometimes I don't get to actually chat with them for too long at open houses or when I meet them out on the streets or wherever I'm meeting them out on the streets. That sounded great. So I created a little buyer questionnaire that I include in all my emails. It's literally at the bottom of my signature, or I can also um, send it out to people. So I use it a lot when I am sending out. So as I said, I use this for meeting new people, meeting people at open houses, meeting people online. It's just an easy way to kind of interact with different prospects or leads that don't really have the time to sit down and chat with me about everything they're looking for right away. It just gives me a better idea on how to work with them. So this is my header. You can make it in Canva. Super straightforward. I can share you the link and then you just add your own information to it. So this first step here is the buyer questionnaire intro. So just a little bit about myself, why I'm doing it, and to ensure that we have the not to solicit those under contract, just to cover our butts. So this one here, this area here has a little bit about like just their contact information. So I actually know how to get a hold of them, which is important. I have the areas that they're looking in. I try to include all the ones that I mainly work in. And then if they want to add any more, they can just add into other. So at least they have the option to. Who's purchasing the home with them? I want to know all about like their furry friends, their children, the whole nine yards, because obviously all those also matter to me. What do they do for work? Helps me connect with them in a different way. What activities you enjoy doing during your free time? So just like again, little things about them. And then it goes into kind of like why they're looking to move, when they're looking to move, if they have a home to sell, if they're pre-approved for a mortgage, if they do need to sell their home, they also have a spot for that. And then that would be a different conversation with them, obviously, when I'm talking. Some of them are click where you can only click one, some are optional. So, for example, like where your budget is for this, I kind of gave it a little drop down, and then they can always add in notes after saying that like they can spend would rather spend less and things like that. um, what's most important to you. Obviously, people have things like schools or transit or jobs, whatever it may be. They can add that in. The type of homes that they're looking for, added in the cottage part there because we obviously work with a lot of cottage people. How many beds and baths? Again, they can click as many as they want, but it just gives the option to kind of go through it all. Parking needs, and then this last little bit is just about like what are your top three things in your future homes? What is a deal breaker? So some people it's like we need to have two sinks in the master. It needs to have a garage. It needs to have a large yard. So all those little things in there they can add, and then just a little spot for them to add in about like is there anything else that is important for me to know about them? Just kind of helps me go through it with them and learn a little bit more about them. So in order to make this, you go onto Google Forms, which we should all have access to if you are using a Gmail account. Anyone on the JJ team automatically has this because we're all Google accounts. So I started with a blank quiz. Essentially, you go through the blank quiz, you look through it, and you start with an option. So, like, you can fill out the description. So you just literally click, type in whatever you like. You can also go through into the theme. Sorry, my theme is in the way of this. So your theme, you can type in the type of fonts you want. You can add in an image. You can change the color scheme. Basically anything you want to personalize it on your own end. So here, where I'm doing the header, I would be adding, you can choose one of theirs if you like really like candy or jelly beans or string, or you can drag it in, add it in, and then you have the option to utilize the one that you've created in Canva. It will then load in. It takes a hot minute. But once you're started here, so it gives you the option once you fill out the first question, you can then do the drop down and choose the type of questions you're asking. So let's say, I don't know, where do you want to live? You can then add in for every option, you can say, Georgina, I spelled that wrong, and then continue to add in multiple options. You can also automatically click the add other, and then it gives you the option to choose whether or not it's required. You continue to do so for as many as you like. So, for example, some of the ones where it's like a drop down, you're going to type in every single option for the drop down so that when they are clicking on it, it'll literally drop down every single one. You can also choose short answer, paragraph, kind of anything you like. You can also even do like a linear scale. I feel like Jake would like a linear scale because they can kind of draw fun things on it. You know, he really likes, yeah, he likes moving them around. There's just multiple options on what you'd like to do. And you can even add in a section on like, when would you like to talk? I personally don't have that because I also have a Calendly link, but you can even put in like add in a date or a time that's the best time to contact you, different things like that. And then while you're doing it, sorry, you just have to, while you're doing it, when you go into, once you have it completed, these responses are actually not ones from clients. I just pulled up random facts. So these are actually responses from people. So if you go, this is like my question section. But if you go into responses, you can either look at them as a summary so you can see what everyone is responding together. You can go by question or you can go by individual. So if you're going by individual, you're able to actually look through what each and every single one of their answers are and how they responded. What you can then do is you can download the response. So when you're downloading the response, this is the fun part of the whole situation, is that you can then go into ChatGPT and you can see if it's going to let me do it today. Sorry, guys. You can then add in your Google responses and you can tell it to take this filled out form from my real estate. So this allows us to look at their disc types. So essentially, if you're adding in any kind of prompt, I can send like the actual prompt that I use. This is a little bit different, but it then looks through the actual Google response and it gives you a full disc breakdown. So it tells you exactly what their primary is, their secondary, and the best ways to work with them. So for example, Carrie here, she's all about steadiness. She's very family focused, very stable on the timelines and wants no stress. I personally know Carrie, this is very true. As well as just being very clear and practical with their needs. This also very much helps because it's how to work with them, avoid different situations, and to reduce different things that they don't like. So it's basically just allowing you to better understand them as not just your clients, but also as people and how to communicate with them, how to work with them, how to come up with planning, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's kind of all I really have. I don't really have much more. Super basic.
So, Monica, where do you share this link with people? Are you just sharing it in your email, or are you like, how are you getting it to them at an open house?
So, well, we all get contacts in open houses, right? So we all get their information. So when I'm sending I obviously, as I hope we all do, we send an introductory email after we meet them, just kind of saying, hey, it was great meeting you. Hope you love the house. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. And then I include this and I say, this is just a little bit to help me better understand you guys. If you would like to work with me, fill out this form. I can start basically answering some questions from it. And this is easier than me being like, hey, can you please tell me this? Hey, can you please tell me that? And it gives just an easier platform for them to answer at their own time frame.
Very
Monica, I have a
cool.
question. Sorry, I have a question too.
Would you also suggest to have those hard copies at the open house in case the people who are not as, techy and savvy on the computers?
Personally, I wouldn't, just because if they're not tech savvy and they're not using computers, then I would just ask them the questions in person.
Mhm.
This is more just for those people, like, I don't know, personally, being a mom of two young kids, I don't really have the time to sit there and be like, oh, yeah, this is what we're looking for, and this is what we want, and this is what my questions are, and this is what we do for work. So, this is just an easier way to allow them to answer all the questions that we do need in order to kind of better serve them and hopefully gain them, not hopefully, Anna, sorry, and gain them as a client, so that we're able to help them buy and sell.
So good. It's such a neat way of doing it and so simple, right? It's like really easy to do and so very user friendly. You don't need a lot of tech skills to do something like this, and it's just very useful.
You can
That's
also go
awesome.
through and re-edit it as much as you want once it's
Yeah.
been published. Sorry, guys, my thing is in the way. So you essentially here it would say publish. So if you look at this one, publish. Once it's been published, it remains published. And no matter how many times you edit it, it will still stay published. So you don't, it's not like our Lofty websites where you have to keep republishing. It'll just stay published. You can also then you can also then copy the link. You can shorten the URL, which I know SG likes because it's just a quick, shorter form. Copy,
Yes.
you do it in a little attachment for your emails. So if I go into, I don't know if it'll let me do this. So if I go into any of my emails, sorry guys, I'm trying to see if I can show you.
Just click
So
compose and it'll be a new one.
So if you go, let's work together, it automatically pops open my questionnaire. So it's right there, right above my signature, as well as with my Loft email and my connect and all that kind of stuff. But everything is in here for them to be able to connect with me.
So good.
No,
You could almost like do it like buyer seller questionnaire and then tweak it a bit so it's good for both, right?
Well, so I did mine together in the sense of if we are buying and they have to sell a home, they still need to answer all these questions.
Yeah.
So that's why I have the spot saying, yes, I need to sell my home, so that if they are selling their home, then I know to inquire with them about booking a CMA and going from there. Whereas if they're saying, no, we're first time home buyers, or yes, we've already sold our house, that kind
Yeah.
of stuff, and it kind of helps. And obviously, always including the whole not intended to solicit because we want to cover all of our butts.
Very smart. Jake, sorry, you had a question?
yeah, no worries. Do you get notified anywhere? So like if someone just goes into your
Yes.
email and fills this out, do you get an email?
Yeah, you get an automatic email saying so and so has filled out this, and it literally, you automatically click and it'll show you right to the responses.
Very cool.
So good. Anna, go ahead.
Do you have any stats like of your return? How many, how does it work for you? How many leads you've got from this kind of
I just
emails?
started using it. It's
Okay.
been literally like a week and a half, so I actually haven't worked an open house where anyone's filled it out yet. I am lucky enough that I have great friends that when I tell them that I have to do something and they know I hate presenting, they are like, "We'll fill out whatever you want." So they were the ones who used my as the example. However, I have sent it off to a few clients and they think it's the coolest thing ever, even though I already know everything about them. But yeah, that's it. It's just an
So
easy way
smart.
to communicate with people.
It's incredible. Any other questions before we run away?
No, it's so smart, so creative.
Only thing to add, I do this for my hockey training stuff too. There is an option to like turn on the an email notification if somebody fills it out. I had a period where it wasn't turned on, so just make sure that is turned on so you get notified right away.
Okay, so it's probably in the settings. Mine, I guess, was automatically turned on because I didn't turn it on and I was already getting them.
So good. Really good little side note, Tyler. Thank you for sharing that. Amazing. Any other questions before we run away? So good. Monica, thank you so much for coming on this morning and sharing. Yes, Melissa, yes, it is in Google Forms. That's correct.
It's just a blank questionnaire that you get to do however you want.
I believe they do have, when you do go to Google Forms, they do have some templates too that you can use, but it might actually be easier to just start from scratch.
So I tried creating from the template. The actual template is much harder than just
Yeah,
going.
I agree. I had the same experience. I also found it significantly easier to just do it from scratch rather
Lofty,
than the
like
template. Yeah.
create your own website versus trying to modify what someone already has.
And we hope you all have an incredible day, make amazing things happen, and then we'll see you all next time. Have an awesome day, everybody.